Welcome back to another Purpose Served podcast, everybody. It's your legendary host, Darren Wingfield. We back. I wanted to talk to you guys today about the Purpose Served pyramid and the importance of well-being and how I've come to structure that. And it's something that I thought about a couple of years ago. But like I said, I've been going through this process of running you guys through of that mind and body problem and the twofold system, Bifarious system. So this is what we're going to talk about today. This is going to be incredibly deep. So bear with me. For those of you that's new to this Purpose Served podcast, this podcast is simply about inspiring you to be the best version of yourself that you can possibly be through innovating and improving the human experience and spiritually honoring the two greatest commandments that was given, which is to love the Lord your God and to love your neighbor as you love yourself. So to start this off, right now, well-being is extremely important to people. The way that they think about it, it's starting to feel like our culture is becoming highly narcissistic. If I haven't spoken that already. It's always playing victim. A lot of people are playing victim. People are lacking accountability for their own wrongdoing. And is them being at the center point of everything. Instead of realizing where they are going wrong within themselves. And trying to find different coping mechanisms to handle the complexity of life and the trouble that they find themselves in. The one thing that I will have to say before we really get into this and start to get kind of technical in a sense is at the heart of the matter, there's grace that has to be given to you in order for you to overcome what you're overcoming, whatever struggles and battles that you are experiencing, because at the heart of it, the true battle is unseen and it's very spiritual. Of course, there's things that's happening outside of you, objectively speaking, in nature, but a lot of troubles that we are experiencing now is more so psychological than it is physical problems. In fact, we have come up with so many things to combat diseases, and battle different illnesses due to the fact of the advancement of technology. But why are we experiencing brain rot right now? And where is it coming from? Where is it stemming from? It's stemming from a whole assortment of things. But ultimately, I talked about the inner gates 2 podcast episodes ago. And the inner gates is referring to your senses. And you got physical senses, and you also got spiritual senses as well. Most people don't even pay attention to their own physical senses to know what they're letting in into their soul. That being your eye gates, the things that you see, and the things that you hear from your ear gates. We don't guard them very well. We do not guard them very well. And going back to me talking about the grace that is given from God, you have to die to your old self, and I can't stress that enough on here. The old version of yourself will hold you back. The old version of yourself is carrying a paradigm of something that you no longer want to be, but you can't help but to fall into the same cycles. The same cycles of thinking less of yourself, the same cycles of getting over on other people, or letting people get over on you, the love of vanity, and anything that is ruled by the passions of this world that keep you bound and chained to this world. And you have to free yourself from that. You really have to free yourself from that in order for you to get to the light of truth, in order for you to walk in the light of your purpose. And this is not something that you can will yourself to do. This is something that is truly a gift from God above. The mind's eye. Now we're getting back on track. The mind's eye. The mind's eye is something that I talk about on here a decent amount. And the mind's eye is you looking at objective things in a subjective way, which is a combination of the natural world, which is the first world, and the personal world, which is the second world. And using the two terms of Carl Jung with extroversion and introversion, that's essentially what that is. And how do you balance out both of those things? There's a quote from the psychological types that I want to read from, which is in the introduction of the psychological types by Carl Jung. And it says, when we consider the course of human life, we see how the fate of one individual is determined more by the objects of his interest, which is extroversion, while in another, it is determined by his own inner self, by the subject. Since we all swerve rather more towards one side or the other, we naturally tend to understand everything in terms of our own type. Balance is so important, and balance is key. And a way for you to measure your extroversion and introversion is, are you more so geared to outside objects? Do you attach yourself to outside objects, or do you attach yourself to your inner self and your inner world? And that's going to determine where your blind spots kind of are. Also, it was highly noted and advised by him to not categorize people based off of these two things, and things is way more complicated than that. It's way more complicated than that. I just started reading this book as of today. So there's a lot that I have to learn in that regard, but I did want to say that in a general sense. But we carry a mixture of both of those within us. And my focus all the time is just getting to the heart of the matter of things, and the pure focus of living whole within ourselves to live whole outside of us as well, to interact with our inner world and our outer world in a harmonious way. That's the goal. That's forever the mission. So, at the base of the purpose served the pyramid, we have 4 different types of well-beings. And if you think about like the pyramids in Egypt, it's 4 triangles coming to a point at the top, but at the base is a square. We talked about the symbolism of that square a couple of podcasts ago, being geared towards action and behavior, and ultimately service, with serving yourself and also serving humanity as a whole. The first 2 of the base of the purpose of the pyramid is more so geared towards your inner life, and the other 2 sides is geared towards your outer life. And how do you manage your well-being? So the four sides um is geared towards your emotional well-being, your mental well-being, your social well-being, and your financial well-being. All of these are important in order to sustain both sides of the coin of your inner life and your outer life. And some of the points that I have on here, which I believe, I forgot what website that I got this off of a while ago, but for emotional well-being, these are some of the qualities that come with it. And it's the balance of the amount of positive to negative effect experienced over a period of time, and symptoms suggesting the absence of pleasant feelings. That's a good thing. And systems suggesting the absence of unpleasant feelings. That's a negative thing. And the ability to produce positive emotions, moods, thoughts, and feelings and adapt when confronted with adversity and stressful situations. That's one of the most important qualities of emotional well-being and how to display that. Also, a sense of contentment, peace, and satisfaction from small discrepancies between wants and needs with accomplishments and attainments. And a respond is to exercise emotional intelligence, and a react is simply to be emotional. That's profound. To respond is to exercise emotional intelligence. To react is to be emotional. Regulating your emotions is important. You have to balance out the amount of positive and negative emotions that you have in order for your emotional well-being to thrive and not be faulty. Most people try to avoid negative feelings at all costs. They try to feel good all the time. That is only going to lead you astray. And it's just like a haunting feeling that's going to come upon you from you trying to avoid negative feelings. We're trying to feel positive all the time. I tell you guys that it's best for you to just simply embrace all the emotions that come, whether it's good, bad, or indifferent. All of them. And when stress come and adversity come, you need the ability to be balanced out when dealing with that to handle the situations correctly. Because most people, when their emotions are out of whack, they tend to make bad decisions and they tend to react rather than being proactive. And oftentimes, this can simply stem from anger. 9 times out of 10. People do a lot of things out of being angry. People do a lot of things out of pride. And it leads to catastrophe, not only for themselves, but for their neighbor. A lot of wrong that's been done in this world, and you can look at this in your personal life. You can look at people that wronged you, but you can also, most importantly, look at yourself and see how the anger that you held on to caused you to wrong somebody. The anger that you were feeling caused you to put yourself in a bad situation. Peace does not come from having your emotions out of whack. Contentment doesn't come from having your emotions out of whack. And honestly, I'm gonna keep it real with you. Want for nothing in the first place. Don't even want for anything. That causes a lot of turmoil within people. Because at the end of the day, almost every last one of us don't even know what we really want. We don't even know what we need. And this causes a bad problem. And then in our culture and society today, majority of people are in crazy amount of distress because they want what they can't have, and a lot of people want what other people have, not reflecting on the effects that other people not, how can I put this? So, case in point, everything ain't always good as what it seems. Sacrifice is a given for like almost every single thing that we do. Almost every single thing that we do. And people only simply see the byproduct and the reward, but never look behind the veil and look behind the curtain of what somebody is going through behind the scenes to get what they got. This is why social media is extremely dangerous, because you got a lot of unhappy people posting as if they are happy and they're living the best life in the world. They're on a yacht. They always going on vacation. They are in the best relationship of all time. But then later on down the line, you see, oh man, these people are separating, or this person is making a video saying how unhappy they are in this home that's lacks love. Or most people literally fake it until the very end. But if you know how to read between the lines, you'll see clearly that the majority of people are putting on a facade out here and they faking it. They're not keeping it real at all. They're not keeping it real at all. Their moral compass is janky. And materialistic things, chasing those objects as if they are you, will lead you straight to hell and lead you straight to darkness. But also, focusing constantly on yourself and neglecting the world around you will have you lopsided as well, as if nobody else matter but yourself, when you have a duty to pay to life and the people around you. Because I suffer from both of these problems myself, personally speaking. And when I was chasing outside things, there was something in me that was very depleted. And I talked to you guys about the anger and bitterness and depression that I was feeling for such a long time, when it felt like it was no relief in sight. And the outlet that I had was through playing a game of basketball. That helped me so much. But it didn't help me all the way, because I was still suffering with the same problems, even along my journey of the roller coasters of success and failures that I was experiencing. Crazy amount of problems that was just stacking up. And for the most part, a lot of people didn't know, except for the people that was involved in whatever it is that I was doing. And my mood was dictated by whatever it was that I was doing, or wherever it was that other people were doing. I was lonely. I was scared about my future, and I was also dwelling on my past a lot. And the typical coping mechanisms I use to try to escape my problems that everybody use. You know what I'm saying? I tried to use them, but they were digging me in a deeper hole. You know what I'm saying? So the other side of the purposer pyramid and the base, just to keep this going, is the mental well-being side. And mental well-being is, the qualities for this is clarifying one's true self and deep values, and staying connected with them and acting in accord with them. Being authentic, something that we talk about all the time. Being. Life comes with being. And you have to behave these things out. They just can't stay in your thinking state, in your feeling state. They have to make its way out. They can't stay in this spiritual, psychological realm. They have to come out. And understanding the bigger picture, relating to it, and contributing to it. And this may include broader aspects of one's life or identity, a purpose, the long term, the community, society, even the entire ecosystem. Another quality is giving to oneself, investing in a larger aspect of the self, a long-term project, or the surrounding world quality, rightness, context, and the welfare of others. Mental well-being is hijacked because they go against all of this. They don't want to clarify their true self and their deep values. They don't want to stay connected to it. And a lot of people don't even want to sit down and like really think about this. This is why I say their solitude, stillness, and silence is important. To let whatever is deep down in you come up and come out, to make itself known to you. That's been like living with you this whole entire time. That's been trying to communicate to you. And it communicates to you in subtle ways. It communicates to you honestly in times of trouble and in times of distress. Pay attention to your dreams. Oftentimes, 9.999 times out of 10, your dreams is telling you what's going on and giving you an answer in a way that's unknowable that you have to figure out, because our dreams operate in a space that's not confined to space and time. Going back to that mind and body problem, which number 4 and 5 of the 5 obvious philosophical facts is that your mind is private, which essentially means you have access to the contents of your own mind as an individual. So look deep down within these things to figure out what's going on within you as an individual, and understanding a bigger picture. You fit into a whole. You are different, and that's what makes you authentic and unique, but at the same time, something in you makes you a part of this whole entire thing. And that's going to help you relate to other people, and that's also going to help you relate to what your true purpose is, because I truly know at this point that you come across a true purpose if it's involving service of other people. That's how you know you come across your true purpose, if it's not no selfish intention. That's how you know. That's how you know. That's the surefire way if you know you come across your purpose, because your purpose is going to involve serving other people. You got a gift to provide to other people. That's the mental and emotional well-being. And the mental and emotional well-being in regards to the intention compass. Remember, the intention compass is involving creation, preparation, behavior, and setting. So with the purpose serve pyramid and the stages of intention, where it fits in that, and the attention compass is at the bottom where the behavior stage is, and building a strong foundation on your well-being. And this involves your inner experience as well as your outer experience. So the inner experience is associated with your emotional and mental well-being, and the emotional and mental well-being is some of the qualities that I just named. You're probably gonna have to take notes on this one so you know what I'm talking about. So the outer experience. So financial well-being. This is a state of being wherein a person can fully meet current and ongoing financial obligations, can feel secure in their financial future, and is able to make choices that allow them to enjoy life. Another quality of this is the knowledge and skills we need to manage money effectively. A lot of people trying to get rich out here. A lot of people trying to get rich. They're trying to get to the bag. Start humbly, start lowly if you had to, but start somewhere. And chip away and keep going at it, and don't just jump ship. I had so many jobs in my life. I worked at Amazon. I worked at temp agencies here and there. I worked at Panera Bread as a cashier, wiping tables down. I worked as a delivery driver for pizza, probably for like a day or whatever. I was a server at a retirement home. I washed dishes at Boston Market. I was a debt collector. I did a lot of jobs. But I also quit. I jumped ship early. And I wasn't with it. And not the times, whatever was going on outside of work, I was more focused on that, to be quite honest. There was a decent amount of jobs I brought my problems to work. And I started problems at work. You know what I'm saying? But they were all stepping stones to get where I'm at right now. Right now. But learn the trick of the trade of whatever it is that you're trying to do. Learn how money works. And learn how to keep track of your expenses and sticking to your financial responsibilities and making the right choices, man. That's very, very important. And money is also associated to people feeling sad or happy and all of that. It's associated with that. And you have to learn how to let it go. And not be so attached to money in itself, but learn how to use it simply as a tool and a resource, rather than attaching to that object as if you are one with that object. Going back to what we talked about with separating yourself from outside things and inner things. I made a YouTube video. If you guys are subscribed to my YouTube channel, about "In God We Trust," on the American dollar bill, on the back of it, speaking of pyramids, there's like a pyramid, and at the top of it, there's the all-seeing eye. One day we're going to probably most likely get into symbolism and really, really talk about certain symbols. But there's an all-seeing eye, and on top of that, it says "In God We Trust," which is deep, man. Which is deep. And people will worship the almighty dollar. The almighty dollar. Our culture right now is like bad with it. It's like bad. It's about chasing a bag. Who got the bag? Women are looking for dudes that make like 6 figures a month. And it's about to get dark to the point where they're selling bodies and escort themselves. And dudes are willing to pay for that. There's no true relationships and family core values that's being built up, and how to learn and grow with one other person. And it's making things real tricky out here. People are losing a sense of trust because of the faulty system that we are building on how to relate to each other. And this, to me, is stemming from this digital dystopia that we are living in, on how we should live life. And the more we keep and taking in all of this stuff, it's distorting our lens on how we look at the world, which is not real. It's only real unless we act on it and make it real. And a lot of people are acting on these things and making it real when it's not. It's a sad thing. It's a sad thing. The next one, the last side of this purpose-served pyramid, and the base of this is social well-being. And these are the 5 indicators of social well-being. The first one is social integration. And that's the sense of being a part of a community and society based on the appraisal of the quality of that relationship. So being a part of a community is extremely important. Being an individual is important as well. To me, that's more important than social integration. But being a part of a community is important, so you're not on your lonesome all the time. Because as a human species, we are meant to be in groups, and we are social creatures by our biological nature. That's how God intended us to be. We social creatures. We meant to socialize with each other. But don't do it so in the means of you feeling the need that you have a problem being by yourself. Then you're lost. The second one is social acceptance. And that's the acknowledgement of a social construct based on certain positive qualities of a given group. Positive qualities. Don't be part of them groups where you have to degrade yourself in order to belong. And most people wouldn't even realize that until it's too late. You know, that come with being young. That come with being dumb and having fun. And then you realize oh my God, this group don't have my best interests at heart. They could care less about me. They could care less. The third one is social contribution. And that's the assessment of our personal value and contribution to society or community. This goes with that serving your purpose. And your purpose is going to be involved in acting for the people around you and the greater good. The fourth one is social actualization. And that's our evaluation of the potential and evolution of society. Contribute to the potential and the evolution of how society can work cohesively as a whole, instead of being a part of breaking it down and deteriorating it even more than the rate that we're going at now. And lastly, out of these 5 indicators is social coherence, and this involves an interest about the world and appraisal about the organization, operation, and the quality of society. Care about your community, care about society, care about the people that you are around. Care. The caring comes from inside of you first and foremost. This all boils down to those 2 greatest commandments that I talk about all the time, which is to love your neighbor as you love yourself. And that's the second one. And the main one is to love the Lord your God with everything that you have. Realize that all of this is of God's creation. Seriously. All of this is of God's creation. And God intended his creation to work harmoniously with each other. And going back to the first world and the natural world, we see this with the way that planets interact with each other. You have certain situations where galaxies are colliding and having violent collisions with each other and exploding. Scientists have theories about that's how our solar system came to be and our planets formed up, is through collision from collapsing gas clouds swirling around each other, and eventually certain space rocks kept hitting and smashing into each other until it formed this smooth rock. But at the end of the day, what we come to know right now as we speak, that is, it was a plan behind it for it to be what it is. Certain people don't believe that. That's just my take on the situation. But yeah, I really wanted to talk about that purpose served pyramid and having a strong base between your mental well-being, your emotional well-being, your social well-being, and your financial well-being, to bring that all together as well-being in its whole. Take a look at those sides of the pyramid and see which one is off balance, what needs attuning to. I love y'all, man. Until next time, I really encourage y'all to be the best version of yourselves that y'all can possibly be. Because just like our star that gives us life on this earth. It also shines in a vast amount of darkness. You do the same thing. And Christ talked about this. Don't put the candle under the bed where it could set the whole house on fire. You put the candle on a stand to light up the room where it's best at. Some of y'all are chosen to do that because the majority of people are lost out here and they do not know where they're going because they're behind. And open up their spiritual eyes to see objectively what's in front of them, and also being able to subjectively know what's going on inside of them and walking in both of those lights simultaneously. I love y'all, man. Until next time, serve y'all purpose. Deuces. I'm out of here.